Hello, I'm Sherry Erickson, here to tell you about the life of a high school guidance counselor. A high school guidance counselor is a critical element in a student's high school education. A guidance counselor provides opportunities for a student to earn scholarships and chart a path for college and for their life. The high school years are such a critical time for those decisions that will determine what becomes in their adulthood, what their future holds, how successful will they be. A high school guidance counselor can help a student chart that path and get to where they need to be. What is a typical work environment for a high school guidance counselor? They would have an office, an individual office within a counseling center. A student can make appointments to come and see the counselor, or sometimes they can just drop in. The counselor tries to be available for the students that may need him or her. Typically, a counselor has an alphabet roster assigned to him or her that is part of the student body. In a student body of about 800 high school students, I would have about 200 students for whom I would be responsible for their class schedule, helping them chart what credits they need, helping them look towards scholarships and those sorts of things. I also would be helping them with personal issues that they may have in a diplomatic, caring, compassionate way. I would have, my work hours are between 7 and 4 usually, unless I need to stay after for something special, or if I'm coaching or helping with some kind of extracurricular activity. But generally it would be from 7 to 4, Monday through Friday. One of the best perks of the schedule that I would have as a guidance counselor is holidays and summers that would be off, the same as my children who are in school. So that is a great advantage to my career choice as a guidance counselor, to be able to have those same weekends and holidays off that my children have. As a high school guidance counselor, I work with teachers, parents, administrators, and especially students. And all of those elements combined can provide stressful situations. A student may be cooperative, but his or her parents may not be. An administrator may have certain ideas or goals that they want to reach that might not be in keeping with the goals that I feel as a counselor. And so all of those elements can sometimes create stressful situations. Also, you might have a child at risk, a student at risk that you worry about, and you take that home with you. Sometimes you can give out a cell phone number so that they can call you, and sometimes they do call in the middle of the night and there's nowhere else for them to go. And so a counselor can get wrapped up with some of those emotional stressors. That's probably the most stressful element of the job, is trying to help those that are in desperate situations. There's really no typical day in the life of a guidance counselor. Every day is different because every student is different. I may have a student working towards a UCLA college career. They are excellent, they've done their 4.0, they have a 30 or 33 on the ACT, and their parents are there helping them and guiding them. What a reward to see a student like that come through the system and feel like they're on their way towards being a successful adult. But then, the same day, I may have a student who is in tears on my couch and worried about the divorce their parents are going through, and I can see signs of self-mutilation and possible suicidal attempts by this student. In some ways it may seem like I'm a triage doctor, stopping the bleeding that's happening immediately in that painful life and helping them feel confident enough to go back to school. There are definitely times where I need to call in more expert professional advice to help in a long-term way, one-on-one, with troubled students, because there is a lot of trouble and broken families, and so students may not have the healthiest home life, and they need bolstering beyond what I can do at school. The educational requirements for a guidance counselor are a master's degree at least, an undergraduate degree in marriage and family studies could build upon a graduate degree in marriage and family studies or human and family development or something in that line. A good undergraduate degree is marriage and family studies, and then once graduate school was considered, then you can specialize in some other field besides marriage and family studies to be a guidance counselor. The salary range is between $40,000 to $60,000. Usually a high school counselor is on the same pay scale as a teacher, and so increases come about the same way they would come for a teacher, determined by what's in the district budget and things like that. Generally, after you have worked in that career more than 20 years, the raises become very significant and substantial. A high school guidance counselor needs to know a lot about human development, family relationships, and those types of areas, because we're dealing with not just the high school students' class schedule and scholarship and those kinds of things. We're dealing with the whole individual is being considered in the counseling office. A student the other day who was being recruited by Stanford for a cross-country scholarship confided that he was worried about his home situation because his parents are always fighting. And so marriage and family therapy can come into play in sort of a backdoor approach with a high school counselor in a way to help the student know how to fortify their home life. There's many areas of the student's life that a high school guidance counselor comes in contact with. It's not just their class schedule, it's how can I help this student feel whole and complete and become a successful adult. The rewards of helping a student who may have been at risk be able to graduate and move on, even if they aren't in the top 10 of their class or whatever. It's wonderful to see progress and growth and see students who don't give up on themselves, because a guidance counselor won't ever give up on them either. Thank you.